Hey YouTube, and today I'll be showing you how to factor trinomials. So first of all, what is a trinomial? So a trinomial is going to be a polynomial, but with three terms. So here's an example of a trinomial. We could even count the terms out. One term, two terms, three terms. Okay, so let's factor it. We're going to be using the tic-tac-toe method, and you'll see why we call it that. So it's almost like we're playing a game of tic-tac-toe. We're going to need our four squares. And for this factoring method, we need two numbers multiplied to x squared. We can do x and then x. And then we need two numbers to multiply to negative 8. So let's do a 4 and a 2. But one of them has to be negative, so let's do a negative here. It's going to be negative 4. We're going to multiply across. It's going to give us negative 4x. X times a positive 2 is going to be positive 2x. Remember, they have to add in negative 2x and then multiply to negative 8. So let's add these. Minus 4 plus 2 is going to be minus 2. And let's not forget the x. So we're halfway done. They add up to negative 2x, but they have to multiply to negative 8. 4 times 2 is 8 with the minus, and then we're done. And then we're going to do crisscross applesauce. So we're just going to have the x pointing to the opposite side of it. It's going to be x plus, it's going to be plus 2 because it's positive. We're going to put a parentheses, x minus 4 because that's a negative 4. X minus 4. And this is a trinomial fully factored. And just to prove that it's fully factored, we could even FOIL it, which is multiplying this times this, that times that. So this is called FOIL. And if we multiply those out, let's see what we get. X times x is going to be x squared. X times negative 4 minus 4x. 2 times x is going to be positive 2x. 2 times negative 4 is going to be a minus 8. And then if we collect like terms, because they both have an x, we could bring the x squared down. Minus 4 plus 2 is going to be minus 2, but they have an x, and then minus 8. And this looks a lot like the original trinomial we started off with. Oh wait, it is the original one. So let's try another one. Here we have x squared minus 5x minus 14. Same thing. We're going to do like we're playing tic-tac-toe. And try not to cut off the negatives because those are important. So we're going to need two things to multiply to x squared. Once again, x and then x. And then two numbers to multiply to 14. So let's do 7 and 2, but it has a negative sign there. So let's make one of these negative. So if we multiply across, we're going to get 7x. X times a minus 2, we're going to get a minus 2x. And we got to remember, they have to add up to minus 5x. So let's add these up. 7 minus 2 is going to be 5x, but that's not the minus 5x. So all that means is the negative sign on the 2x in the wrong spot. So let's put it right here. And then if we multiply across, x times negative 7, negative 7x, x times 2 plus 2x, and then we add them. And then we should get the negative 5x, which is this one. And then these two numbers have to multiply to negative 14. 7 times 2 is 14 with the negative, and then we're done. We're going to do crisscross applesauce. We're going to get x plus 2, parentheses, x minus 7 because it's negative. And that's fully factored. Let's try another example. Well, this one's a little different, because instead of x squared, we have 2x squared, but it should be the same process. We're going to start off by drawing our tic-tac-toe, or four squares. So two numbers to multiply to 2x squared. So remember, to get x squared, we could do x times x, because it's x squared, and we just put a 2 here. Okay? And then we need two numbers to multiply to negative 3, but add to 5x. So let's think. To get negative 3, we need a 3 and a 1. But one of these has to be negative to get the negative 3. So let's put the negative here. We're going to go across like we did before. It's going to be 3 times 2 times 3 is going to give us negative 6. But don't forget the x. X times 1 is going to be plus x. Remember, they have to add up to 5x. Negative 6 plus x is going to give us negative 5x. That doesn't match up, so that means the negative's in the wrong spot again, which is an easy fix. Let's try to fix this a little bit. And then we do 2 times 3 again, we're going to get 6x. X times a negative 1 minus x. It's going to be 6 minus x, it's going to be 5x. And if you're wondering why just minus x, you do minus 1x. 6 minus 1 is 5, don't forget the x. And then we have the 5x from here, there's a 5x there. And then these two have to multiply to get negative 3. 3 times 1, negative 3. And then we're done. We're going to do crisscross applesauce. 2x minus 1 because it's a negative. X plus 3 because 3 is positive. And this is fully factored. Let's try one final one. So this one's going to be a little harder. But if we do the same method, we should be able to do it. Tic-tac-toe one more time. Let's not cut off the negatives. Let's get our 4 squares. From before, 2 numbers that multiply to 6x squared. We know it's 6. We know that x times x is x squared, but we need 6. We could try 3 and a 2. That should give us 6x. We could also do 6 and a 1, but I think 3 and 2 will work better. And get negative 12, we could do a 12 and a negative 1, but let's go with negative 4 and a 3. And then let's multiply over. Remember, it has to multiply to negative 12 and add up to negative x. So 4 times 3 is going to be negative 12x. 2 times 3 is going to be a positive 6x. So negative x plus 6, that's going to be 6x. But this doesn't equal that. So that must mean the negative's in the wrong spot, right? Let's try that out. Instead of putting the negative there, we put the negative in here. 3x times 4x is going to be 12x, positive 12. 2 times negative 3 is going to be minus 6x. And 12 minus 6 is going to be 6x. Once again, that doesn't add up. It multiplies, but it doesn't add up. Let's get rid of the circle. This pesky circle doesn't want to go away. Like we were saying, it multiplies, but it doesn't add up to negative x. That's because these two can be factors of each other, because 2 goes into 4 2 times, and 3 goes into 3 1 time. So if we switch these, where they're not factors of each other, we can put the 4 here and the 3 here. And then we make one of them negative again. So let's make this one negative. But this time we should get more success, because they're not factors. And then 3 times 3 is going to be 9x. Multiplying across, 2 times negative 4 is going to be negative 8x. We're going to add 9 minus 8x. We're going to have x. Once again, it wore off a little bit. So that just means that the negative is in the wrong spot. But we're getting x. We just need to make it negative. So we're close. 3 times 3 is going to be 9x. Don't forget the negative. 2 times 4 is going to be 8x. 9x minus 8x is going to be negative 1x, or just negative x, which is this one. Negative 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. Don't forget the negative. And then it adds up, and then we're done. We're going to do a crisscross applesauce. 3x, it's a positive 4. 2x, it's a negative 3. And then we're done. And then we factored it. And we're done, guys. We learned the basics of how to factor a trinomial. Remember, a trinomial is a polynomial with 3 terms. 1, 2, 3. And we even learned that we can have common factors, like directly pointing at each other. So the 4 can't go up here because the 4 has a factor of 2. 2 times 2 is 4, and the 3 can't go here because 3 times 1 is 3. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. And I want to pump out more math videos. It was fun. Thank you guys for watching. Until the next one.